protecting our kids as best as we can, and also understanding the role that they play in this really historical family.
In a stunning turn of events, King Charles has unveiled a final, unshakable piece of evidence that directly challenges Meghan and Harry's long-protected narrative. With regal precision and calculated timing, the monarch lays bare details that strip away the mystery surrounding Archie and Lilibet's identities. No more whispers or vague denials. This is a direct royal counterstrike. As the dust settles, the implications are seismic, echoing through palace corridors and public opinion alike. Could this moment finally tip the balance in the monarchy's favor? Let's dive into the full story. The bloodline. Bombshell. It began quietly. No announcements, no fanfare, just an unmarked envelope from Kensington Palace, passed discreetly to a trusted royal correspondent. Inside, a classified DNA report with 5 haunting words scrawled in the margin. No Windsor blood detected. The report suggested something unthinkable. Archie and Lilibet share no biological link to the Windsor bloodline, not even to Prince Harry. For years, speculation simmered. Archie's 2019 birth lacked royal tradition. No hospital photo, no official physician's statement, and no immediate public appearance. When Lilibet was born in 2021, the secrecy deepened. Carefully staged photos and a Netflix series only fueled more questions. Yet the palace maintained silence, upholding public dignity for Meghan and Harry even after their royal exit in 2020. But internally, doubts mounted. A quiet succession audit ordered by the Royal Protocol Office unearthed a shocking truth. Forensic DNA analysis showed no genetic match between the children and any member of the Windsor family. Not Harry, not Charles, not anyone. This isn't just a family matter. It's a constitutional crisis. If Archie and Lilibet lack royal blood, they hold no legitimate claim to titles or the line of succession. As King Charles faces growing scrutiny, the monarchy braces for an unprecedented reckoning. But what if the real crisis isn't personal, but a hidden truth that could shake the monarchy to its core? Stay glued. Shadows in the bloodline. It started not with scandal, but with silence. Measured, calculated, and heavy. What began as a tale of modern love and royal reinvention has spiraled into one of the most controversial sagas ever to shake the House of Windsor. At the center of it all are 2 children, Archie Harrison and Lilibet Diana, once symbols of progress, now caught in the storm of uncertainty. When Meghan Markle gave birth to Archie on May 6, 2019, it was heralded as a milestone, the first mixed-race child born into the modern British monarchy. But unlike the joyful, transparent traditions of royal births before, like Kate Middleton's well-documented hospital appearances, this one felt opaque. No photos on the hospital steps, no official doctor's statements, just a brief announcement of labor, quickly followed by news that the baby had already arrived. Then came Lilibet, born on June 4, 2021, in California. Again, the pattern repeated. No public records, no palace confirmations, no formal welcome. The Sussexes called it privacy. Critics whispered secrecy. But with the recent leak of alleged DNA findings, those whispers have erupted into national debate. What was once a private family matter now threatens the future shape of the monarchy and its very foundation. But what if the silence around Archie and Lilibet hides a truth too explosive to ignore? Stay glued. A monarchy on shaky ground. For over 1,000 years, the British monarchy has survived wars, betrayals, and scandals, but nothing quite like this. What was once whispered in palace corridors has now become a growing storm, threatening not just reputations, but the very framework that has upheld the monarchy since 1066. The heart of the crisis? A quiet but explosive question echoing through Buckingham Palace, Windsor, and Kensington alike. What if certain royal heirs aren't truly of royal blood? To outsiders, the monarchy may seem ceremonial, a tradition-rich symbol of continuity in modern Britain. But beneath the pageantry lies a strict legal and constitutional system anchored in lineage. Unlike elected offices, where power comes from public votes, royal authority is passed down by birthright. A monarch must not just act royal, they must be royal, in blood and name. That is why questions about parentage strike at the very heart of the institution. When doubts arise about a royal child's true lineage, it becomes more than gossip. It becomes a constitutional emergency. This brings us to the issue quietly rattling the palace gates: the birth of Archie Harrison and Lilibet Diana. The royal family celebrates births with tradition and protocol. Birth dates publicly declared, records signed, witnesses present. Every detail is logged and verified to preserve transparency. Yet in the case of Harry and Meghan's children, official documentation has remained unusually vague. No hospital photos, no witness accounts, no verified birth details. And though privacy was cited as the reason, legal advisors and senior aides have privately expressed unease. Some even call it the most carefully hidden mystery in royal history. This isn't just about Meghan and Harry's desire to shield their children. It's about a centuries-old institution built on bloodlines.
It happened a few weeks ago, earlier this month, here at our cottage.
Now facing a silent but deadly test. If a child in line to the throne cannot prove biological connection to the Windsor name, what happens to the rules of succession, to the laws that give the crown its authority? Even Queen Elizabeth's own marriage to Prince Philip was, in part, a calculated union, both descended from Queen Victoria, made to safeguard the royal bloodline. Behind the palace gates, insiders suggest this is only the beginning. A full-scale inquiry may be on the horizon. And as the monarchy clings to its legacy, one truth is becoming increasingly clear. Without unquestionable proof of blood, there may be no crown to pass down. The royal crisis no one expected. Once whispered behind closed palace doors, the question of royal legitimacy now commands headlines and divides opinions across the Commonwealth. At the heart of this growing storm lie Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and the two children whose place in the royal succession has sparked unprecedented debate. It's no longer just about royal tradition or symbolism. The line of succession is a functional backbone of monarchy, meant to preserve order during uncertainty. If that structure is built on unclear foundations, what happens when the nation needs it most? Concerns surrounding Archie and Lilibet are no longer confined to tabloid rumor. According to a former royal historian, whispers about inconsistencies in Meghan's pregnancy were known as early as 2019, yet the palace remained silent, paralyzed by fears of public backlash, political correctness, and the threat of inflaming racial tensions. That silence has now come full circle, forcing the monarchy to confront an issue it never truly prepared for. Across centuries, royal history has not been without its shadows, from the 15th century disappearance of Princes Edward and Richard to the 20th century speculation surrounding Prince Albert Victor. Yet never before has the throne faced a scenario where heirs might be presented without a verifiable biological link to the crown. In today's age of science and scrutiny, is it enough to take royal births on trust alone? As calls grow for DNA verification and legal clarity, one truth is clear: the British monarchy is standing at the edge of a legacy-defining moment, and the world is watching. But what if the line of succession is built on secrets no crown can afford? Stay tuned. Royal secrets and silent cradles. From the moment the world was told Meghan Markle had gone into labor on May 6, 2019, something felt off. Hours later, the palace claimed the baby, Archie Harrison, had already been born that morning. The timeline didn't add up, and for many, that simple gap sparked years of questions that have never truly been answered. Royal births usually follow time-honored protocol: a known hospital, an official medical team, an immediate announcement, and a proud appearance on the steps of the Lindo wing. We've seen it with Princess Diana, and more recently with Kate Middleton. Each birth publicly documented, and each child introduced to the world mere hours after delivery. But not with Meghan. No hospital was named, no doctor was seen, no certificate surfaced immediately. Instead, a carefully arranged photo was released days later, taken not at a hospital, but within the walls of Windsor Castle. In that photo, Prince Harry cradled the newborn. Meghan stood beside him, her hands barely brushing the baby. The child was swaddled so tightly, his features were almost entirely hidden. Why wasn't the mother holding her newborn? Why the delay in showing him? Questions snowballed, fueled further by strange public appearances, where Archie appeared covered in blankets, no matter the weather, or held at awkward angles. Then came Lilibet Diana in June 2021, announced quietly after Meghan and Harry's move to California. No hospital was mentioned. No details were offered beyond a name and date. Their Christmas card, months later, introduced the baby to the public, or so it seemed. Viewers noticed something strange. The image looked too perfect, too still, possibly even digitally altered. A forensic expert hinted it may not have been real at all. While the palace stayed silent, their refusal to clarify only deepened public suspicion. Compared to the visible upbringing of William and Kate's children, Archie and Lilibet remain shadows, kept at arm's length from both royal tradition and public life. And whether it's intense privacy or intentional concealment, one thing remains true: the mystery surrounding these children has never truly faded. The hidden story of Archie and Lilibet. When Netflix released the much-anticipated documentary on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in late 2022, many expected a raw, heartfelt glimpse into the Sussexes' family life. But what viewers received instead was a carefully polished portrayal. Curated moments, selective footage, and children shown in fleeting, often blurry frames. Archie's voice could be heard, yet his face remained elusive. Lilibet appeared only in soft, unfocused glimpses. Rather than satisfying curiosity, this lack of clarity stirred even deeper speculation. Rumors took on a new life by early 2024, when an anonymous source, reportedly linked to the couple, alleged access to confidential documents tied to the births of Archie and Lilibet. These claims, though unverified, mentioned a private third party, a tightly bound confidentiality agreement, and a deviation from official royal medical protocols. Whispers of undisclosed DNA testing began to swirl, intensifying the mystery. No confirmations followed, only a silence that echoed louder than words. Inside Kensington Palace, the mood reportedly shifted. Senior advisors and royal aides, according to insiders, began discreetly organizing documentation, from travelogues to medical records, just in case legal or constitutional scrutiny emerged. Not as a public rebuttal, but as a cautious safeguard. The real issue now transcends parentage. It touches the very core of public confidence. In a monarchy where symbolism is everything, transparency isn't just a courtesy, it's a necessity. And when that transparency fades behind secrecy and silence, even the most loyal supporters may begin to question the foundation of trust the crown rests upon. But what if the real story behind Archie and Lilibet was never meant to be seen at all? Stay glued to your screen. Secrets, silence, and the shadows over succession. As whispers echoed louder across drawing rooms and digital spaces, what once was brushed off as idle gossip began to shake the very walls of Britain's oldest institution. By early 2024, with the nation still reeling from the pandemic's scars and the uncertainty of post-Brexit Britain, tensions within the monarchy reached a boiling point. Inside the palace, where discretion is tradition, pressure from Parliament and the public had grown too loud to ignore. It wasn't just about budget scrutiny anymore. Questions of bloodlines and legitimacy had quietly entered official conversations. Behind closed doors, a discreet but intense inquiry began, not from the crown itself, but through the Chamberlain's office, working in quiet coordination with a rarely mentioned advisory council made up of royal historians and legal scholars. Their task: to verify lineage without igniting a national crisis. The investigation, cloaked in secrecy, reportedly involved a Swiss genetic institute famed for its discretion. Though the palace never confirmed it, whispers claimed DNA was sourced from personal effects, items so mundane they slipped under scrutiny. A hairbrush here, a toothbrush there. What emerged from the supposed analysis sent shockwaves through royal circles. Unverified leaks hinted at a chilling revelation: no biological link between the children of the Sussexes and the House of Windsor. If true, the implications weren't merely personal, they were constitutional. The idea that heirs may not carry royal blood rattled the monarchy's very foundation. Inside Clarence House, an emergency meeting reportedly turned tearful. Outside, the nation watched, wondering what legacy would be left standing. Inside, the palace's most explosive secret. In the quiet halls of Clarence House, King Charles studied a confidential report with careful attention. After absorbing every detail, he asked a single, weighty question. Are we absolutely sure of the outcome? That question revealed the enormity of what was unfolding, one that threatened not just private reputations, but the very core of the monarchy. Shortly after, Prince William was brought into the circle, his reaction measured yet deeply disappointed. His frustration wasn't with the children at the center of the storm, but with Harry and Meghan, whose actions now jeopardized the integrity of the royal succession. Protecting the throne's legitimacy became the top priority. But before they could carefully manage the narrative, the palace responded with a carefully worded statement confirming a clarification of succession records, a phrase loaded with hidden meaning that insiders understood well. Though no details were publicly shared, the implications were clear.
I mean, I have the two best guys in the world, so I'm really happy.
The bloodline of Archie and Lilibet was no longer just a matter of rumor, but a constitutional issue demanding resolution. Amid growing speculation, from inconsistencies in photos to an absence of medical records, the palace chose silence over denial. This unfolding crisis, more serious than any before, strikes at the heart of the monarchy, the right to the throne itself. The surrogate story behind Archie and Lilibet. In a monarchy shaped by centuries of tradition and guarded secrets, whispers can sometimes carry more weight than official proclamations. And now, one whisper has erupted into a storm that threatens to upend the very roots of royal succession. It's no longer just a tale of love, duty, or even rebellion. This is about blood, birthrights, and an allegation so delicate it was buried beneath layers of silence. For years, the rumors seemed absurd. Conspiracy theories murmured in corners of the internet or behind closed palace doors. Claims that Meghan Markle may have used a surrogate to carry Archie Harrison and perhaps even Lilibet Diana were dismissed, often attributed to bias or tabloid frenzy. But as time passed and inconsistencies piled up, missing birth records, carefully staged photos, hushed hospital visits, those whispers began to sound eerily coordinated. Behind the scenes, a young American woman, known only as JG, monitored, silenced under a strict NDA, and shielded by private security, she carried a child she only later discovered was royal. What began as a discreet medical arrangement has since become the most explosive royal secret in modern history, and it may finally be impossible to contain. But what if JG's hidden pregnancy was the royal family's biggest secret yet? Stay glued to your screen. This unravels fast. The mystery behind Archie and Lilibet. What was meant to be a joyful chapter in royal history has instead become one of its most unsettling mysteries. From the moment Archie Harrison entered the world in May 2019, followed by Lilibet Diana in June 2021, subtle inconsistencies began to raise eyebrows. Missing medical details, heavily edited photographs, and an almost scripted public narrative hinted at a deeper story, one the palace seemed determined to keep buried. The emergence of documents tied to a woman known only as JG shattered the surface calm. Allegedly, the surrogate for Archie, JG was said to be under tight restrictions.
And how are you finding parenting generally? No, it's great. I mean, parenting is amazing. It's
bound by secrecy and handsomely compensated to protect the truth. Though the documents didn't reveal everything, they ignited a firestorm, pointing toward a controlled surrogacy arrangement and challenging the idea that the Sussex children are biological heirs. Amid increasing speculation, former royal aides and insiders have broken their silence, describing a pattern of staged family moments and heavily guarded privacy. Financial contracts, non-disclosure agreements, and rumored alterations to birth records have fueled calls for answers. As public doubt grows and trust in the monarchy wavers, one question lingers. What truth is the palace still hiding behind its gilded doors? But what if the truth about Archie and Lilibet was carefully staged from the start? Stay glued. This only gets deeper. The Crown's most guarded secret. From the moment Meghan Markle and Prince Harry stepped back from royal duties, their carefully guarded privacy sparked both admiration and suspicion. But what began as a desire to shield their children, Archie and Lilibet, has evolved into one of the most puzzling royal sagas in recent memory. Over time, a pattern of oddities emerged. Photos where the children appeared too still, too posed, too perfect. Pediatric experts questioned the authenticity of their movements, and the public began to ask,
That if it was in a tabloid, no one believed it. Like, it's a tabloid.
is everything as it seems? Speculation once brushed off as tabloid fantasy, like Meghan not being the biological mother or the use of surrogacy, has now taken on serious legal and constitutional weight. If true, it could reshape questions of inheritance, titles, and succession within the monarchy. Even more bizarre, theories about reborn dolls or digitally altered images have gained traction, particularly as real, unscripted moments remain scarce. Former staff have alluded to strict rules surrounding the children, with limited access and oddly rehearsed encounters. Meanwhile, the Sussexes' Netflix footage raised more eyebrows than it calmed, its polished scenes leaving viewers uneasy. What lies beneath this royal curtain? Privacy, performance, or a secret no crown wants revealed? The Sussex children, privacy, and the power of perception. In the swirling world of royal scrutiny, few stories have sparked as much fascination and controversy as the mystery surrounding the Sussex children. Since Archie's discreet introduction in 2019 and Lilibet's even quieter arrival in 2021, public curiosity has collided with speculation, giving rise to a narrative where truth and illusion often blur. Carefully framed family photos, limited public appearances, and meticulously edited Netflix scenes have only deepened the mystery. While Meghan and Harry insist on protecting their children's privacy, critics argue that the line between protection and performance is wearing thin. Over time, what began as an effort to shield their young ones from the harsh glare of the media spotlight has taken on a far more complex shape. Glimpses of what appeared to be stand-ins, awkward interactions with royal staff, and increasingly bizarre rumors of reborn dolls or AI-enhanced images have ignited global debate. One now famous photo of Archie, marked by what looked like a seam on his wrist, became a flashpoint, raising unsettling questions about authenticity and, by extension, the legitimacy of royal succession. Meanwhile, their multi-million-dollar media empire, including high-profile Netflix projects like Heart of the Family, offers viewers a beautifully curated, emotionally charged glimpse into Sussex life. But despite all the cinematic finesse, something is always missing: the unfiltered, spontaneous moments that typically define family life. The children remain mostly unseen, their images overly polished, their presence often implied rather than confirmed. As the line between documentary and drama continues to blur, the public is left to wonder, is this genuine privacy or a highly controlled narrative crafted to protect, promote, and perhaps even manipulate perception? In a digital age where image is everything, the Sussexes have mastered control, but at what cost to trust, transparency, and the future of royal legacy? The Sussex saga blurs the line. Once hailed as the modern face of the monarchy, the Sussexes have gradually stepped into a very different spotlight, one where the lines between crown and camera blur with increasing intensity. What began as a fresh, hopeful chapter in royal history has evolved into a global media spectacle, where every appearance, word, and silence is dissected under the harsh glare of public scrutiny. Since their groundbreaking Netflix deal in 2020, Harry and Meghan have taken full control of their narrative. But with that control has come growing suspicion. The couple's carefully curated image, built on intimate documentaries, emotional interviews, and stylized photo releases, has led many to question whether their story reflects truth or performance. What was once seen as a humanizing glimpse behind palace walls now risks being viewed as a scripted act. Instead of bridging the gap between royalty and the public, their media ventures have triggered waves of. As admiration fades, critics argue the Sussexes have crossed a line, transforming royal life into a commercial brand. Meanwhile, lawmakers, royal aides, and constitutional scholars remain divided. Can the monarchy modernize without losing its core identity? The Sussexes now walk a tightrope between relevance and tradition, authenticity and spectacle. So, what do you think King Charles's final proof really means for Archie, Lilibet, and the future of the monarchy? We'd like to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon.